Hi, I'm Tom and this is Adult Game Reviews. Before we get into the video, some quick clerical info. The whole stream had 69 games. I did everything I could to keep all the games in the video, but there was one I just couldn't include. The original length of the video was 2.5 hours, so this video will be in 2 parts. I also edited down the video as much as I could to save time. If you want to see the whole video, either edited or unedited, you can check out my Patreon or Subscribe Star. If you want to tell me your tiers, you can let me know in the comments down below. Thanks all, and I hope you all enjoy. All right, everybody, so welcome. This is one of my favorite things to do every single year, and that is my giant tier list of games that I've played basically since December. And so I have 69 games. I did have 70 games, but I had to remove one just so we can get to that nice number. And don't worry, it's not a game. It was a game that I streamed for like 30 minutes and I got rid of it. So every time I've done this tier list, I will just have it as like A, B, C, D, and trash, right? Every single time I'll end up having a bunch of games in A and B, and I'm like, it doesn't feel right. So I broke this down into A+, A-, etc., and it feels very large. But I think this is going to be a little bit easier to break down and kind of make sense of things. The one caveat, and this is something that I used to do in the past, is I would take into account development time. I am not going to do that with this. We are just looking at the game. I don't care if it's been taking 30 years for a game to be created. How good is the game? That's what we're going to focus on today. Any of the NTR games, I'm saving for the very, very end. So if you do not want to join and check out the NTR games, we only have like 5 NTR games-ish on the list. And so if you do not want to be around for that, that's at the very end. So don't worry about that sneaking in on you throughout the video. Cool? All right. The first game is A Foreign World. But if you're not familiar with A Foreign World, Foreign World is by Highborn Tiger. It's a male MC visual novel reverse isekai story. And if you've seen any of my review, or if you saw my review on this one, the biggest issue that I had was the storytelling and the plot. Like, it dragged. They would focus on certain girls, like Sue at the very beginning, that I feel like Sue was one of the worst characters in the game. A Foreign World, it was a difficult one because I feel like a lot of the characters were great, except for the ones that they focused on. But I did enjoy the story and the isekai, and it was interesting early on. Premise is amazing, but yeah, the execution is kind of there. So I had one person put B-. I also would agree with B or B- kind of range. Could it improve? Yes, but it needs to be cleaned up like crazy. Like there's just so much time where I feel like our time is just being wasted reading it, or we're just focusing on things that aren't that important. So the next one is Actual Roommates. And if you're not familiar with Actual Roommates, it's a female MC visual novel with all female love interests, and it is complete. And honestly, I think for what it is, it's pretty damn good. I feel like Actual Roommates, if you would really want a female love interest, female MC game, this goes, I mean, development was great, and I think it's, you think it's an A+. For me, I do think some of the stuff that was actually done was rushed. It felt a little rushed at different times, and I felt like the story was okay. Like, I didn't think it was anything special personally, but I think it was probably in that A- A range. So you think it's an A+? I think it's probably A- A range, but it is very, very good if you like this sort of thing. Next, we got Alive, and that's by Seaskin. Okay, so I don't put a lot of S tiers. There's not many S tier games in my view, because S tier does basically everything correct, right? And name a game, like, there's only a handful of games I think that do everything correct. We got B+ for Alive. I liked Alive. I thought Alive was quite good. It was linear, but it was it didn't waste our time. Like, we went in there, you knew what you were going to get, you picked a love interest, and you went through, right? You thought it was too short? I didn't mind that. Some of these games on this list are going to be short, but how enjoyable was your experience? I don't really take length of time into account as much, because, I mean, hell, I got out of touch on this, and that's what, 50 hours or something like that, and then you get Alive, which is probably 8. For what Alive is, I think it was probably in that B+ range. B+ range. What do you think? Yeah, we'll take a look at this at the end and see how much of this is gonna change. But I feel like Alive was probably, yeah, Yeah, let's go with B. I thought everything was decent about it. I didn't think anything was super special, right? Another one that I haven't actually reviewed yet because I haven't quite finished it yet is Astrion by No Glory. Visual novel, male MC, fantasy sci-fi. It's like a tale of two games at the moment for me. Like the first half of it, it took a long time to kind of get into some of the fantasy stuff, but it was really damn good what was there. Like I was really impressed. And then it felt like it slowed down a lot all of a sudden. And so I need to finish it to really, really tell. I'm going to put Astrion in the B plus A minus kind of range right now. Because time will tell. Like I think it easily could jump into the A range, but it could also drop down depending on the pacing. But I did like what was there. I think I'll go with A minus for that. I think it was really, really good. I enjoyed what I saw. Next, we have Best. And that's, you know, male MC, visual novel, kind of dating sim-ish. If you're familiar with Best by Dolila, you are in a 100-person competition. Let's just say you play a French guy. A plus just because we're in chat. A plus for Best. The only issue that I've had with Best, is some of the writing is a little awkward, and a lot of the references I failed to get, but that's gotten better over time. So for me, I'd say I'm gonna give, like, again, it's like I think Best is a solid A. It's like I think it's a solid A. See, now I'm second guessing because I think once we get towards the end of the first book or chapter, it's gonna really tell how much it has changed over time. When I first started playing Best, I remember even talking to Dolila a little bit, and that was very, very odd references, a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise if it wasn't explained to me. And the writing could be a bit awkward. And so do I take in the beginning or do I just take in the end, right? If I take in the thing as a whole, well then it would probably be an A minus, kind of with some of these others. But if I take into the changes, then I think it'd be a solid A. So let's just keep it at A. We'll keep it at A for right now, and we may look back and kind of change that a bit. Just because I think it's a unique, fresh kind of story, and do you think Best is a little bit better than Actual Roommates? I would agree with that. Astrion is the only outlier there because I think at the very beginning Astrion was amazing and then it kind of slowed down a bit. It kind of felt like a more exaggerated version of A Foreign World. But all right, enough about Best. Let's go to Between Two Worlds. And I really enjoyed Between Two Worlds. Between Two Worlds, if you're not familiar, is by Druscati Games, and it's a male MC isekai fantasy story. You get a little bit of the jumping worlds. Between Two Worlds, I think, is a very good game. I think it ended solidly, but I do not think it was one of the more memorable endings for me. Like, I'm glad it did end, and I think it needs to be applauded. If I had the little soundboard here, which I need to get a soundboard so I can hit the clap button, right? It was decent. I don't think Between Two Worlds was special in any possible way, but I don't think it was bad in any way either. I liked some of the love interests, but I didn't think they were like amazing. I thought some of the pacing could be a little bit slow, but I love the D&D setting. So for me, I think I'm going to put Between Two Worlds in the B plus range because I think it was better than Alive. I don't think it was. I think Actual Roommates was slightly better for me than Between Two Worlds, but I mean those are very different games, so I don't want to compare them too much, right? I think it probably B plus is probably a very solid range for it, and just to let you guys know, it's like I will enjoy games even down to C. C is like there's some games like in my previous tier list, like Halfway House, for instance. I love Halfway House. It's one of my favorites, but it is not exceptional in any way. Between Two Worlds, I think is really good, but I don't think it's quite great. And I think that's okay because it is solid. And if you love it, you're going to enjoy the whole thing. Carnal Instinct just had a update. Have not finished that update. So I played some of it, but in general, Carnal Instinct, if you're okay with, you know, anthropomorphic animals RPG style, it's fantastic. It's one of the few open world games we got. You know, you look at like Wildlife, for instance, and for a while it was Carnal Instinct and Wildlife, depending on which one was going to be the king or queen of the open world adult games. And I think Carnal Instinct is ahead by a good amount there at the moment. So I'm going to give Carnal Instinct a solid A. It is Very good for what it is, but you have to, you have to enjoy the flavors. But for what you're getting, especially from an in-development open world game, this is pretty damn good. The combat feels relatively smooth. You got tab targeting, or you got, I forget what the other one is called, but not tab targeting. And either one is pretty good. I enjoy it a lot. But I think that in general, having an open world kind of game like that is pretty fun. So I'm going to give it a solid A for right now. It could always change. All right, moving on to Companion of Darkness. And Companion of Darkness, I absolutely love Companion of Darkness. It's by Berkele 4, and it's a visual novel male MC. This can be considered a reverse isekai? I think it might, right? But Companion of Darkness kind of surprised the hell out of me. I played it randomly at one point, and the story was so damn good. The visuals are a little wonky, right? And I think that's the reason that it does not creep into S tier for me. But I do think it's a solid A+ as far as the story goes, the characters, there's a good amount of content. Like, it's so good. It's an A- for you? I mean, either way, like, when we get into the A tier or the Bs, like, we're just splitting hairs, right? We're really like, what's the real difference between an A- and an A+ game? Like, I mean, we're doing this because it's fun. We get to tier things, right? But if it's an A game, it's pretty damn good. You don't like it because it's a Honey Select game? I love Honey Select. I just think there's other games, other Honey Select games that look better. And I think that's the difference between Companion of Darkness and some of these others on the list. Let's move on to Cross Realms. Oh man. By Dusk Duck, visual novel, male MC, isekai, kind of fantasy sci-fi. Like, it's mostly fantasy with a bit of sci-fi in there. And Cross Realms is fantastic. I am tempted to put Cross Realms in the S, but it's so early in development that I don't know that I should. The baby hands is a problem. I still think if you saw my review on it, the baby hands I cannot unsee. Every single time I look at it, you get baby hands. Like, the action scenes were so damn good. I'm trying to think of a reason. Okay, guys, give me a reason why it shouldn't be an S tier. What is the reason? And Honey Select is not a good enough reason. What about it is not as good as so many other games? Like, the action scenes were some of the best I've ever seen. Is that it's just early? See, you know what? I gotta put Cross Realms in the S tier at the moment. Other games, like in development games, Eternum, Being a Dick, some of these other games, we'll get into S tier, right? But those have been early at one point, and they will stay in the S tier. I'm gonna put Cross Realms in the S tier for now. I think the next update could make or break it, but we'll see what happens. All right, so next, move on to Elmwood University. This is one game that has been on my list to review. When I play it here and there, I have not leaned in because it is still relatively early in development. I think it's only on episode 3 right now, and that's by Wickedware. I love college games too. Like, I know people got burnout, especially from Being a Dick and College Kings and stuff like that. I enjoy college as well. The problem with Elmwood University that I have is that it makes no sense. Like, the beginning of it makes zero sense whatsoever. Like, if you don't know, you wake up randomly. This is how it starts. You wake up in the bed at a sorority house with one of the sorority girls waking you up. She just decides to be like, well, since you're here, since you're a random stranger in my bedroom, let's invite you to our feminist gathering. All the women are trying to do is just jump on you. That's all they're trying to do at the feminist gathering. It makes no sense. But it's surprisingly entertaining, and I do love the choice tree. It's so, if you haven't seen it, the choice tree is crazy. I think the setup isn't great, but it's one of these games where I consider it fun, but not good. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, see, that sounds bad. I'm gonna put Elmwood University in the B for right now. Like, it is a fun game, but it's not a good game, objectively, if you look at the plot and the story. I think it's right along par with Alive, where Alive was very, very solid in many ways. But I don't think it did anything special. Whereas Elmwood University does a couple of things special, but it also does a couple of things really badly. Where do you think Being a Dick belongs? If you're not familiar with Being a Dick, it's by Dr. Pinkcake. And the only reason you have not heard of this is because you're brand new to the genre. That's it. Thunder Rob, a C. See, that's what I mean. It's so polarizing. You think it's overrated, but still good. Okay, there's a few things that I think that Being a Dick does not do well. But for the most part, I think it does everything well. I personally think it's the best college game out there. It is the best college game out there and one of the best games out there in general. So yeah, it's definitely going in S tier for me. Like, yes, of course I'm putting it in S tier. Do I wish I could be controversial and put it in like C tier? Yeah, that'd be great. You know how many views I'd get and how much hate I would get online if I could put it in there? But I have spent more time playing this and going through all the paths than probably any other game. Like, I checked my playtime and I'm at like 150 hours on Being Dig. Like, I can't just ignore that. Like, I've gone through every path. I've got a save for every girl, and I play update to update. I think it's fantastic. I don't like everything that all the choices that Dr. Pancake has made, especially in the first season, but he has remedied some of that. If you dislike it, if you're like, hey, I can't believe you put it there, I get it. Let me know why. But for me, that's where it belongs. Eternum is, man, B+, Jacome, wow. Eternum is the gold standard. I think Eternum is better than BAD, but I mean, it's like, again, you're splitting hairs. Eternum is so damn good. I think the story in Eternum, okay, so you think the story-wise it puts BAD to shame? Well, I mean, they're different, right? Eternum is not, I mean, a BAD is a college slice of life game, right? And Eternum is sci-fi. That's what it is. It is a sci-fi game. Usually sci-fi games have a very specific beginning and end. The one thing that I think sets Eternum apart from any other Honey Select game is that I don't think there is a love interest in Eternum that is bad. I don't think there's a love interest in Eternum that's even mediocre. They are all fantastic. It is just so dang good. And even if you don't play for the story or you don't like sci-fi, it's like play for the characters because they are so damn good. And it's kind of a gold standard on how they should be made. Interesting. See, that's why I love doing this. I love hearing everybody else's opinion on this stuff because it's even if it's so far different from mine. I love that. And so you don't really like the love interest or Tom's favorite, the nerdy redhead shy girl. I mean, yeah, Nova. Nova's great. I love Nova. She's up there with one of my favorites, but depending on the day, I pick a different one. We're moving on to Follow the Leader by Super Writer. And this is a visual novel, male MC sci-fi game. It's you are basically an indentured servant. You escape with some of the other girls that were part of the Sheik's harem. I did not put it into trash. I'm not going to put it into trash because at least there was some effort put into it. But Follow the Leader was not good. And it upset me. It's like the story itself was relatively interesting, but some of the decisions that were made by the MC were really stupid. The writing was not very good. And on top of it, the visuals were half-assed. Like you were supposed to be going over to this diner, and when you walk outside, everything's empty and not even finished. Like I want to put it into trash, but I don't think it truly deserves to be there. I just did not enjoy it, and I did not think it was very good. And I don't suggest you play it either. You think D is being kind? I might be. I don't like to put games into trash unless it's an absolute cat grab, so just like I don't like to put that many games in S. Yeah, Thunder Rabbit avoids trash because the gals are hot AF. Interesting how much Tom's playthrough improves the game experience. It was a lot of fun to stream, but objectively, it was not a good game. All right, so next we got Forbidden Fantasy from Opie Man. And Forbidden Fantasy, the visual novel male MC fantasy game. Opie Man does visuals at the absolute S tier. Like, they are so good. A fun trash tier, I think that's kind of where I put C stuff. Visually, I think Forbidden Fantasy is S tier. It is amazing, right? I think story-wise, writing, plot, it's trash tier. I do not get how, and this is not to hate on Opie Man specifically, but the writing is consistently bad, I think, in Opie Man games. Fresh Women, I loved Fresh Women's visuals. I thought the story was real hit or miss. I thought it was mostly miss. I'm putting Forbidden Fantasy in the C tier. And again, come at me. I thought there was so many different decisions and the story felt really rushed. And I just didn't think it was that good other than the visuals. So you may think that just because of the visuals, it should bump it up. I think Fresh Women is better than Forbidden Fantasy. And that makes me sad. And yes, Thunder Rob, you hit it right. It's the execution. Like, great idea, visually great, execution not that great. Okay, Chasing Sunsets. And I have not finished all of the endings yet because I'm still waiting for all of them. But Chasing Sunsets is one of my favorites. Do I think it's as good as some of these other games in S tier? If you're just looking at Jay or Mallory, Jay I think is one of the best love interests in any game, right? I love Jay. But is this S tier? Not enough love interests. B plus not in the same as Eternum. S tier, it doesn't need more love interests. And see, this is the thing. I didn't think it needed more love interests. I like what it was trying to do. The early on, though, I think some of the writing was a little bit off. But I think it's a really, really fun game. I think it's really good. I don't think it's perfect, and I think this belongs in the A+ tier. I think it's almost to S tier, but I think A+ is pretty damn good. Chasing Sunsets is that half skip and a jump right to S tier. I think it's really close. And just like Cross Realms, I think Cross Realms over time could drop. If I had to sit down and play one of these games, if I had to sit down and play Eternum, the new update from Eternum, BAD, Cross Realms, or Chasing Sunsets, Chasing Sunsets is 4 on that list. So like I think it has to go in A+. So, all right. Now we have Glowing Stones. And man, Glowing Stones. Glowing Stones is a problem for me. I think the premise is fantastic. I think the execution is relatively poor. It is, the writing is, I think the writing is bad. So there's two issues with Glowing Stones. And if you don't know, Glowing Stones is by Moonlight Dev Corps, visual novel, male superhero MC, right? And so it's a superhero story. I think the visuals are okay. They're decent. Like, decent visuals. The story is, see what they're trying to do. But what the problem is if you are not a native English speaker and you're trying to translate everything on your own, it is never going to sound right. I think the dev is French. If you are French, I'm sure the Glowing Stones is probably much higher. If you are playing most of these games in English or another language, I kind of worry for your mental health because the writing, at least the English translations, are really poor. I think the last chapter that I played, I think it was chapter 5, or was it chapter 6? I can't remember off the top of my head. But the last chapter was the first chapter that actually wasn't awful. It was just below average. Like that's kind of how it is. So for me, Glowing Stones is going to go in the D or the C tier just because of the English translations. They are unbearable. If you are someone like me who, you know what, over the 3 years that I've been doing this, that I've been running the channel and I've been doing these reviews and everything like that, I feel like my anal retentiveness when it comes down to writing has I've gotten more forgiving. But there are just some things I can't forgive. Like, everyone speaks in overly formal tones. Like, they're like, oh, you just had this really emotional thing happen to you. Hello, sir. Are you doing okay? Oh, yes, I'm doing fine, even though I have a head wound. And I'm like, it is awful and it's mood breaking. And I feel like I'm being relatively generous with the C. I feel like I'm being generous with the C just because the last chapter gave me a little bit of hope, but that just might be copium. We will see what the future chapters look like. But I pray to God that Moonlight Dev Corps gets a translator. Stops doing it themselves. If they get a translator, Glowing Stones could jump up, probably in that B+ range, right? But right now, if you don't like the English translations or you can't stand the writing, don't play it. It's going to be rough for you. All right, next we got Hillside, and I have to remind myself to not take development into account. Hillside is one of those games where I'm like, I enjoyed the premise, I enjoyed the slice of life story. It can drag a bit. And again, it's so hard for me not to be like, it may never finish. But it's by Dark Blue, visual novel, male MC, kind of slice of life. You play a bodyguard for this model's family. Hey, Whitlaw, I am not here to judge or rate people's whatever flavor they're into. I'm not going to do that. However, I can say that the way the younger daughter was written was, I think, exaggerated a bit and didn't quite make sense for me. It didn't quite fit because she's supposed to be a sheltered, like, 19-year-old, right? But she feels like a sheltered 13-year-old. So for me, I'm probably going to put Hillside. Do I like Hillside more than Forbidden Fantasy and Glowing Stones? I do. Do I like it more than A Foreign World? No. I think A Foreign World is a little bit better. So I think it's B- for me. There's stuff that I like there. I think there's interesting. I like the male MC, but there's a lot of other issues. Intertwined. Man, Intertwined would absolutely be S tier if the audio was better. If there was music, but I love Intertwined. Intertwined is right along with Chasing Sunsets for me, right in between Companion of Darkness and Chasing Sunsets. A+, easy. If some of the other production value stuff was done a little bit better, like if you look at the production value, music, sound effects for like BAD, for Eternum, I think it would be easily S tier for me. You play music in the background for you? I do not. I have to, like, hey, I'm reviewing this shit. I'm gonna listen to what a normal experience would be. Like, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna see what it's like. In a silent game, I have a hard time. This is one of the few games on this list at all, I think, that can get away with no music and it not actually drop it into that C tier or maybe B. But it's the only one on that list where I'm like, I think it's just really, really good. And if you're not familiar with Intertwined, Intertwined is by Nyx. It's a visual novel, male MC, slice of life. He has a falling out with his dad, goes back and lives with his mom, and finishes up his last year of, I think it's high school, but it might be college. Like, you never quite know what kind of school he's in. Stepdad, actually. Yeah. Falling out with his dad, stepdad, either way. But I think it's very good, even without the music. I liked a lot of the characters and the love interests. All right. Next is The Arrogant Kaiju Princess and the Detective Servant. This is by Mango Party, and it's a publisher. This is a male MC relationship management with some RPG aspects. And this is quite good if you like relationship managers. You know, these kind of live 2D games where, you're managing the relationship with particular people. The Arrogant Kaiju Princess is weird, but it's a good one. I think it's pretty solid. I think it goes probably in that A- range if you like the management style games. And if you also like the visuals, and it has a bit of a power dynamic going on with Arrogant Kaiju Princess. But overall, this is one of the better live 2D games out there. If we need to do a tier list of best friends, we should go through games and find a tier list of all the best friends, and we can do that. And Zach would absolutely go into trash, yeah. Law School by Mr. Maya. Visual novel, slice of life game, right? And so Law School. Oh man, I have such a love-hate relationship with Law School because the world building in Law School and some of the writing a little bit early on is real rough. But the visuals and the characters, and I really ended up liking the story later on. So it's kind of that split in the middle for me. So for me, I feel like Law School is probably in that B+, A- range maybe at the moment. Do I think it was better than Between Two Worlds? Visually it is, but Druska's writing I think is better in Between Two Worlds. So I think that's probably a wash. I'd say it probably is at the bottom of A for me. I think for right now. Yeah, Rose is the best. She is just such an awesome love interest that I think that bumps her up. I think that bumps Law School up to an A-. B range better than his last game. I 100% agree with you. The Entrepreneur had so many problems that I think Entrepreneur was probably in C range. I think Law School's in that A- range. I'm killing Rose in episode 4. That's it. Damn it, Mr. Maya. I even realized you were in chat. We shouldn't have said anything because now he's going to kill Rose and it's going to drop. That's it. We're putting it in trash with no Rose. I will do it. You don't like Rose. What's wrong with you? How do you not like Rose? She's amazing. All right. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. But I just love it. I love it when we're doing a tier list and all of a sudden the dev pops in. I'm like, man, putting me on the spot here. I want to say every game is S tier, but if I'm being honest, like I can't reasonably. But I did really enjoy Law School. All right, moving on to My Bully Is My Lover by Nichan. Oh man, this is another male MC slice of life. It's kind of a thriller. Issue that I have with MBML is that, have you ever played any game where the emotional scenes are better than the actual basic writing? Like, that's what it is in MBML. The emotional scenes are fantastic and really well done. I enjoyed them a lot. They made me, laugh. They made me cry, all the range of emotions. The writing early on, especially in the prologue, is so rough that even Nichan was talking to me a little bit and saying that how people can't even, people will quit because they can't get through it because of the writing. And yeah, I believe it. Because of that, you not really feel this emotions when you're playing. You don't feel with Emma's story, you don't feel any emotions? Jacome, you need to check to see your heart is still beating. I think MBML, if I'm taking the whole game into account, I didn't even like Emma that much either, but I still loved her story. If I take the full game into account, I would probably give it B+. If you just take in the end, like the most recent updates and stuff like that, I would put MBML up into that A+S tier. But if we're just taking the whole thing into a whole, it's probably going to go in the B+ for me. I feel like I'm kind of splitting hairs a little bit with that, but it's been getting better and better. And so I'm like, where do I rate it? Do I rate it at the S or do I rate it in the B? Like, if you can get through the prologue, you're kind of golden. I think the rest of it is really, really good. Okay, so next we got Moonlight by Big Bat Productions. Male MC, sci-fi, mystery, slice of life. And Moonlight, I really, really, really enjoyed Moonlight. But it is just way too early. So there's barely any, how many, I think there's they're working on the second chapter or something like that right now. But Moonlight is quite good. I don't really have much else to say other than it's good what I got. I enjoyed what I played, but it's really, really too early. So yeah, so he's working on chapter 2. So I think I gotta put it in the B range for now. And again, I'm kind of hedging. There needs to be, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna add a row. Let's add a row. Yeah, we're gonna do that just too soon. There we go. Makes more sense. We're gonna put in the too soon range. We got Morningstar. If you're familiar, Morningstar by Droid Productions. It's the male MC sci-fi kind of choice-based. I like Morningstar. Did I like the story of Morningstar more than I liked Love of Magic? Did I like Morningstar's story more than I liked Love of Magic? Love of Magic's story was better. But Morningstar, I thought the mechanics were better than the story. So I'd probably give Morningstar a solid B. Like, I liked what I got there. I thought the story was better. And I actually think Droid kind of agreed because he finished Morningstar. It is complete. And this is where it's going to be polarizing for you. Because in Love of Magic, you have a poker mechanic in that Love of Magic. And every time I played that poker mechanic, I wanted to punch the wall. I have 15 holes in my wall from every single time I had to play that stupid ass poker mechanic from Love of Magic. But the story was relatively worth it. And I know some people would be like, you should have just cheated and stuff like that. But I don't tend to do that when I'm reviewing games. Morningstar, on the other hand, changed that to 3 like diamond or 3 shape in a row. So you have to get 3 in a row to actually get something. And I found that much more enjoyable. But it depends if you like the mechanics. So I'm putting it solid in B. I had a good time with it. I don't really think about it anymore. Realistically, I think of Elmwood and Alive more than I think of Morningstar, but I also thought Morningstar is better than A Foreign World and Hillside. So, all right, next we got Mythos Book 1. And Mythos Book 1 by 9 of Swords. I love Mythos. It's great. The issue that I had with Mythos is the visuals weren't the best. Also, it's very, very, very light on any type of spicy content. But if you have played Mythos and you don't love Becky with an I don't know that we can be friends. Becky with an I was so fucking funny. She was so good. Every time she popped up, I just died. And she was one of my favorite characters by the end in the entire game. And so Mythos, I'm going to give Mythos probably an A-. I'd say it's right along line of Law School. Law School's visuals are better, but I think Mythos' writing was slightly better. Yeah, I don't think Mythos... Well, I think they're right along par. I think they're relatively close. And this is really one of those, like, how do you put a tie? I don't know that you can. Mythos is right here. Like, it's hard for me to decide because they are both very good. But I mean, Law School just looks so much better, and I think the love interests are... Yeah, you know what? I think the love interests are better in Law School. I do think the writing is slightly better in Mythos, but yeah, okay. I think Law School is better, but not by much. It's very close. Actually, you know what? I think Mythos is right along the lines of Between Two Worlds and MBML. So yeah, I think that's a good place for Mythos. I think it's very solid. I think it could get better over time. Let's move on to My Dorm. My Dorm is S for you, and I don't care for any other opinion. S? Wow, all these S's. I know the My Dorm population will come out in force, but there's a few things about My Dorm that I do not like. I do not think the writing is that good in My Dorm. I think the writing is okay. It is, I think, very average. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's exceptional. Like, the one thing that I think Mythos does better than virtually any game on this list other than the maybe A+ and S tier is the writing. So My Dorm, I think, is a solid B. And I think it's kind of along the lines of these games right here. Morningstar, Alive, Elmwood University. I think it all kind of fits. I think My Dorm, there's some solid benefits to it, and then there's some big negatives to it as well. Fight me if you want, but I think it definitely belongs. I think I'm going to put it in B. My personal list. For me personally, I like to have consequences. There is no consequences. This is more pure just dating sim. Honestly, I can get a little bored of that. So, Friendship with Benefits by Twisted Scarlet. It's visual novel, male MC. It's My Little Pony sim that when I was playing, I put out a podcast, episode of the podcast. I gotta say, I must have played this at the right time because I had a thoroughly good time with it. I enjoyed it. It was fun, and it just made me feel positive. It was just a positive game. There's a bit of sandboxy stuff in there. The choices don't really matter a whole lot other than the love interest. So in that way, it kind of reminds me a little bit of My Dorm. Friendship with Benefits was just really, really fun. If this is a flavor that you like, you're gonna love this. The visuals I thought were okay. Sometimes it spent way too much time on each individual render. So I'm going to put in the B- range, even though it's something that I absolutely loved, and it made me, it made me feel good. It was just a positive game. When I got done playing it, I was like, oh man, I'm having a great day after I got done playing it. It was fun. Haven't played the second one though. So I don't know if that's an upgrade, but it does so much stuff really well. But it is very niche. Funkle Reagan. And Funkle Reagan by Janamu Zura. Funkle Reagan is, I think, probably the most underrated VN on this game, or on this list. It is so damn underrated. The big issue that I have with it is the visuals, and I know you don't want to hear that, Janamus, but when you look at something like Eternum, or you look at Cross Realms, or you look at MBML, it is just not quite there. But the story, the world building, like the characters are awesome. Everything about it, but the visuals. And you know what happens? You get games like Fresh Women or Forbidden Fantasy that I don't think does anything but the visuals exceptional. Where then you get Funkle Reagan, who does everything exceptional, I think, except for the visuals. So I'm going to give Funkle Reagan a solid A. It is an A game for me. I think Janamus needs to edit himself a little bit from being overly wordy. And you keep improving the visuals, and I think it could jump up. I think some of the character models are going to put people off. It's very niche, and they're very, very skinny at times. But I think it's damn good. And if you can get past the visuals, you're going to love it. But that's me. That's where I'm. Maybe I'm biased because I love the heavy sci-fi. Moving on to the Paradise Trust games. I think these games are fantastic, but we're going to get into a little bit of that. I know it was rated, what was it, last year? That I think SPG said it was like her favorite game of the year. And I get it. I understand that. It's a point-and-click adventure. The one thing that I personally hate, any game that I play, is if it feels like it wastes my time. And Paradise games feel like they waste my time. Like, they will put in puzzles that seemingly have no real point. And that bothers the hell out of me. I think it looks great visually. I think the story is really interesting. I think it's a perfect setup. The puzzles I don't like. And I don't dislike all the puzzles. Let me get this right. But it feels like a lot of the puzzles, if there was more of a point to them, I think it would bump up. I think it could potentially be S tier. But right now, I'm going to put it in that kind of A- range where it's good. You got to get past the mechanics. I cannot get past the mechanics. And I know you could go through and turn off all of the, you could, yeah, no rollback, and you could go back and turn off the mini games, and you could do a lot of that stuff. But realistically, I do feel like the Paradise games waste my time a lot, and that is going to be a huge ding for me. I feel like an A- might be a little bit generous. Do I really think the Paradise games are better than MBML and Between Two Worlds and Mythos? No, I don't. Okay, I'm going to put in the B+ range below those though. Yeah, Okay, I do not think it's better than those. Putting in disable rollbacks. Oh man, you guys are learning some really, really bad habits. You cannot blame me if it gets flamed though. All right, next we're gonna go to Out of Touch by Story Anon. And I cannot seem to finish this damn game. And it's not because it's not good. It's because it's so much content. When I talk about weird ass psychedelic games, I don't think Out of Touch has any competition there. It's like, Out of Touch is so good, right? I've been enjoying it a lot, but there's just so much content. It's very wordy, and you have to like Koi. If you don't like the Koi visuals, yeah, it's going to be hard for you. And so for right now, I actually agree with you on this one, Rasser. We disagree on a lot of shit, but this one, I think Out of Touch is solid A. All right, moving on to Project Werewolf. And Project Werewolf is, if you're not familiar with it, it's by FTR Game Studio. You have a female MC third-person shooter horror. I streamed it for a bit, and I was actually going to do a review of this one, but as I went to actually play it and finish it, my access was removed by, I think, the dev. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't reach out and try to get it again. It's fine. Like, Project Werewolf, if you enjoy third-person shooter, it's actually pretty damn solid as a third-person shooter. Some of the issues I had with what I played were very monotonous and kind of same looking environments, but the mechanics were better than I expected, especially if you like the kind of third person adult games. It's interesting, right? But I'm gonna have to probably put it in that kind of, where do I put it? Probably a B- from what I played. I think as far as a third person shooter goes, it's better than I expected. As far as the storytelling, as far as like stuff like that, it's okay. It's all right. It's decent. I think it's better than, I think it's above average, but I don't think it's special. All right, now we got No Such Luck. And man, I think I did No Such Luck a disservice. And I don't even know if Noping's in here, but I did a disservice, I think, with No Such Luck when I compared it to BAD. That was on me. That was my fault. I should never have put out a video being like, is it BAD light? The only reason I compared it to it is because of all the paths and the branching and the character. If you're not familiar with No Such Luck, it's a college kind of slice of life VN, male MC, but you also have a little bit of a mystery going on. The big issue that I have with No Such Luck, and people have said that it's better than Alive, and I think, oh, you thought the scavenger hunt felt like Hell Week in a bad way though? I thought the scavenger hunt was the best part. I thought it was great. But there's some of the stuff that I'm not necessarily a fan of. I feel like, yes, exactly. I feel like No Such Luck, the mystery itself, where you're trying to, there's a little bit of a spoiler here, but you're trying to infiltrate something. I'm not going to go into any more than that. Or you're kind of being prompted to do so. I can't say that I'm enjoying that story. I kind of want to just keep focusing on school and focusing on the other characters, but maybe that's just me. So No Such Luck, I think right now it probably goes in that mythos between two worlds kind of range. I like some of the girls in No Such Luck. Some of the other ones I don't. Like, I know I think Clara on the front. I'm not a fan of Clara, but I do like the debate. I know a lot of people have different flavors. I don't necessarily like the overarching story, but I do like all the choices. I think the big thing that hurts No Such Luck at the moment is that it feels a little bit disjointed with some of the choices, but I have a feeling that will improve over time. And then also some of the visuals. I know there was a couple of times where it felt like it was almost unfinished a little bit, but like that's a minor complaint for me. So yeah, what do you guys think? I know you hate Molly, you like the girls. I mean, that's why it's like, it is just all over the place as far as people's opinions on this, and I think it's a B+ for right now. I think it could change easily as time goes on. I've not played the most recent update, so I don't know if that was going to change things. I have to do that though. Molly is great. Yeah, I think Molly is great. So I think it fits in the B+ tier with some of these other games. I feel like MBML, I still feel bad putting MBML so low because the later chapters are so damn good, but the early chapters are real rough. I don't know. I'll leave it there. Okay, next is Shattered Minds by X Games, male MC, visual novel, mind control. Shattered Minds, if anyone has played it, let me know what you think. But personally, I did not particularly enjoy Shattered Minds as far as the mind control goes. I thought the characters were okay. I thought some of the decision making or some of the plot was all right. I like the premise though. I think it's really interesting kind of playing the villain, but I'm like, I had a kind of a rough time with it at different times, but I thought it was good enough if you like the flavor that you'll enjoy it. So I'm probably going to put that in the recent updates have been good. For what I played, I'm thinking it probably goes along a foreign world to me. So I think that's B- for me from what I played. I think it's better, definitely better than Hillside. I think it's right along par with A Foreign World for me. If you enjoy it, I think this is the kind of thing that you are basically God. You are playing God. That's who you are. You're God. And that can get kind of boring to play for me, personally. So you may differ. I'm not saying that I'm right. This is just my personal opinion that I think it is in the B-. All right, let's move on to Race of Life. Race of Life by Underground Studio. If you're not familiar, visual novel, male MC, slice of life. And Race of Life is fantastic. I love Race of Life. Everyone's saying A+, A+. It belongs in the Chasing Sunsets or Intertwine range. MC is too hairy. Takes it away from S tier. What? He's too hairy. What an interesting reason to dislike a game. It's like I personally think Race of Life is right up there with Chasing Sunsets and Intertwine. I think it's fantastic. And again, I'm not taking into a development or anything like that into account, which I think is right there. So for you, you think Shattered Minds is BP plus? You think Shattered Minds is above Chasing Sunsets? I don't think so. Not at the moment. I like Race of Life a lot, but I still think Chasing Sunsets is slightly better to me. Do I think it's better than Intertwined? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I probably do. Harry MCs for the win. Yeah, I'm fine with the Harry MC. That's okay. I mean, the races, I loved QuickTime events, and you get a lot of racing QuickTime events. Damn, like, I love that shit. I just wanted to do races all the time. It's great for me. All right, one of the games that I may have to cut out of the YouTube version, just simply because of the name, is Sexbot. Where do you guys think Sexbot belongs? Sexbot is one of the most fun, stupid ass games that I have quite honestly ever played. It is objectively not good. Like, I'm gonna say that Sexbot is not good. It's not a good game, but it's so dumb and so fun and so goofy that I've enjoyed it. It is the definition of so bad it's good. Ray is the Drax of the avian community. Man, you guys are putting it in an S tier. There's no possible way it belongs in S tier. Absolutely not does Sexbot belong in S tier. I was wondering if I should put it into C tier. Is it better than Forbidden Fantasy? Yes. Is it better than Project Werewolf? Yes. Is it better than Hillside and Shattered Minds? Probably not. So for me, I'm gonna put it solidly into probably into B-. Like, Sexbot, if you can enjoy a game, technically, like playing it and seeing the height of the sister in the game literally be shorter than the doorknob, I'm dead. Like, the doors didn't have doorknobs, and for some reason I enjoyed the hell out of it. The character models are objectively hideous to me. I think they got better over time, but objectively they looked awful. Oh, come on, every Daz game has done that? Maybe, but it's not as obvious as it was in Sexbot. It's just scaling. I get it, right? But it is a very fun, stupid game that if you do not like it for any reason, you are right. And if you like it for any reason, you are also right. It looked awful, but as I played it, I found their beauty and love them. Hey, more power to you. I thought the game had a weird charm to it that only a weird science spoof could pull off. But I think it definitely is in B-. Actually, you know what? Is it a better? Did I like it more than I did? I liked it more than A Foreign World, actually. Foreign World felt like was objectively decent, but Sexbot was more fun. All right, let's move into Sinner's Landing. And we got the second one from Flexible Media, male MC point-and-click adventure dating sim. And do I think Sinner's Landing was as good as the Paradise Games? I do not. I thought Sinner's Landing was not as good as the Paradise Games at the moment. So I'm going to probably put it in B tier. I did think it was objectively better than a lot of the games in B-. I do think Sinner's Landing might pull ahead, might actually jump up later on, right? It could, but it's on par with the Paradise Games. I just don't think it's quite as good. Even though I like the fantasy setting a little bit more, felt like something was missing, right? I felt like, again, a lot of the mechanics and a lot of the mini games, some felt cool, some felt like a waste of time, but that's me. Okay, everybody, that's the end of part 1. I want to thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned next week for part 2. I want to thank all my backers on Patreon and Subscribestar, and if you haven't seen my review of Snowstorm, you can check it out right here. Thanks again. Until next time.